Hey, Stoney here with another game of Mechabellum, and this time we're gonna see the power of improved sledgehammers. Let's go. Alright, at the bottom here, I am playing as a Typhoon Specialist with steel balls and crawlers. My opponent is playing as a Supply Specialist with the Storm Crawlers and Hounds. The MMR of this game is around 2200. The Hounds, this is a fantastic pack, to be honest. Like, this is similar to like the Stormcaller Fangs pack, but with so much more survivability. If you just have Fangs, you have to make a decision. Do I add Crawlers or do I add Arc Lights? Because Fangs themselves are actually not really good into Chaff Clear, especially if your opponent has Crawlers. But with Hounds, though, I mean, this is the easy decision to make. You just make 5 pounds and 2 Storms. The Hounds themselves, they do the tanking, they do the Chaff Clear, and the Storms carry everything else. So this is a very OP, I think, starting pack. For me, I'm just going to go a classic asymmetrical aggro with a single arc light. The steel balls themselves should deal with these Hounds okay-ish because of their unit model. And the arc light is mostly just there in case my opponent decides to add crawlers, which they inevitably do. I got some very lucky crawlers here at the corner. They slip through and they're going to get to the tower. Alright, come on, Stormies. Show me what you got. Alright, we're going to get the tower. I think we're going to have a beautiful timing here. The Hounds look super weird when they don't have Meg Raid. So here's a bit of an Easter egg. The Hounds has a separate animation when they have Meg Rage versus when they don't. So when they don't, they look like frogs just kind of crawling around. But when they do have it, they become dogs jumping around. So interesting thing to know. And I'm not the biggest fan of his walking animation. I find it super weird. We got reinforcement cards. Improved sledges are offered. This is one of my favorite improved cards. Probably a close favorite to improved melter. They're both like amazing cards. So what is the improved sledgehammer? It essentially doubles its damage. It increases its movement speed, but most importantly doubles its damage. Now that level 1 sledgehammers can do the damage for level 2 sledgehammers. And this is huge because every level you get, you can almost see it as like just doubling. So level 2 sledges would shoot at the damage of level 4 and level 3, level 6, and so on and so forth. So that makes them the perfect carry unit. Now, unfortunately, I don't actually run full carry tech. I don't have EM on my sledges, but it's just too good of a card to pass. And just look how quickly they take out a tower. It's absolutely ridiculous. Another thing about these sledges is that at level 2, they actually one-shot. No, they don't actually one-shot. They actually kill the Hounds a little bit faster. My opponent took the improved Wraith. Interesting choice. Improved Wraith is okay. Like, you want to use your Wraith as your carry units, but in this composition where it's mostly ranged, I don't know if that's the best option. I think the Wraith is mostly serving as just a chaff clear. Alright, we got our first round of unit drops. The rating was very tempting after seeing the improved Wraith, but I think it's going to be the Marksman here because I need a bit more spread. Right now it's just a single Wraith here, but I would expect my opponent to kind of build towards on the other side. Scorpion is also being offered. No point in taking Scorpions for myself because the Sledgehammers are already doing plenty of damage. Makes sense for my opponent to take it though. So let's talk a little bit more about improved Wraith. It's got 5 range, which is tiny, and then 30% damage. I think the 30% damage really doesn't scale that well. I think Wraith at its core, especially in this setup, is still primarily chaff clear. You still need something to complement it. So yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of this pick at this juncture. If you have Wraith closer to the line with steel balls, then yes, this makes perfect sense. The extra 5 meters would protect you from getting locked on instantly by the marksman. The additional damage, especially later on, you got like a level 3 Wraith, can actually power down a melting point if you take 8 gun. But in this standard format or in like a defense, because I'm actually going aggro, I don't know if this is the best choice. Alright, marksman working on the Wraith. And the tanks are actually getting onto the Scorpion as well. I still have chaff left over. So this is one of the potential weaknesses of the Hound because of their range. So if you're relying on the Hound for chaff clear, then you probably won't have any late chaff clear. Which means if you have crawlers like these, then your Hounds won't be there to save it because they'll all be dead. Alright, we got ability cards, some very juicy abilities. Mobilized Battleship is interesting because it also gives me a unit to deal with the Wraith in case my marksmen don't survive. And also the Battleship itself is good into Scorpions. My opponent took the range. I believe he took range last turn too, so you really want to deal with the Sledgehammers. But he will soon realize a level 2 Sledgy that's improved. That's 2,432. And that's times 5. And with Mech Rage, that's every 3 seconds. So every 3 seconds, this guy here is dealing close to a, what is it? 12,500 damage, give or take. So if you have a level 2 Scorpion, so every 3 seconds, yeah, this Scorpion is dead in like 3 shots. Oh, 3 full volleys from this level 2 Sledgies. Anyways, was talking too much about the Sledgies, not enough attention on the actual game. We both took the boat, and I took the tower just a little bit sooner than my opponent, but he got the tower regardless. The marksmen are working very hard onto this level 2 Wraith. I think they will get it. And here's where the boats start coming in. Level 1 tower, I think they get like 2-shotted here. Yeah. Okay, good round. And the Sledgies are starting to kind of get out of control. We got a shield drop, which is very good. Mustang production line if you want to pivot into Giants. Right now, I don't see that happening for my opponent. If he goes into forts, he could go into forts. Let me see my marksman tech. I do not have EM on a marksman, so he can go punchy forts if he has that technology. For me, I picked the safer choice of just getting shield drop. Shield drop over here is a great move because he has no damage except the storm callers. I put it slightly to the side. The storms will miss the shield and instead it will focus on his level 2 sledgehammers. Alright, for my opponent, he also took the shield. And his shield is less impactful because of just how much damage these improved sledges do. More wraiths are coming out. I already have some level 2 marksmen, so not a terrible position. Whenever I have sledgies, one thing I'm always very concerned about, especially when I have fans at the front, is for my opponents to take fan shield. It takes forever for sledgies to get through shielded fans. So if that ever happens, I'll probably need Mustangs here just to deal with the fans. Mustangs or Stormcallers. But Mustang might be a better choice because of AA. My opponent could very quickly just get some walls to block my marksman, and then the Wraith would just deal with everything else. So having some preemptive Mustangs was very good. I double missiled expecting a Scorpion still there, but my opponent did sell it, which I think might be a mistake. I think he would need a Scorpion to deal with my tanks. I think he was just a little concerned about my tank scaling too quickly and he wouldn't be able to catch up with the Scorpions. I would not be surprised if he bring it back at some point now that his chaff clear has already been pretty good. I mean, just look at how many naked tanks we have on the field. Like, imagine a couple Scorpions would just pop them right off, right? We'll see if he does that. My shield bubble lived. Really good. And a huge round. Lots of damage here. We got phoenixes, which can be good into sledges and also good into raids. So I'm going to take the phoenixes. And here are the wasps that I was talking about earlier. So the wasp will essentially protect the raids from being shot at by marksmen. I'm actually taking the shield first and also taking range on the phoenixes. I was not so much expecting the wasp or like, I mean, I guess I did talk about it in the replay, but when I was playing, I wasn't expecting the wasp. I was more concerned about the return of the scorpions. But instead, it's just going to be hackers. Shielded level 2 hackers trying to turn my improved sledges against me. Got cheeky wasp coming in. Right now, the only wasp killer I have is this typhoon. Alright, hacker already locking onto my sledges. It becomes a little bit troublesome. He still has chaff clear left, but not enough hackers, I think. Oh, gets the tower, and this is where hackers go to town. Pretty much converting my entire army on the side. However, let's see. I think I should be able to get a tower here, and the typhoon might turn around. Hello? Typhoon? Hello? Nope. The phoenix took care of those wasps. Alright, now we're just gonna do some damage control. Now, normally I would be panicking here because sledges on their own simply do not have enough damage to pop these shields fast enough and still do damage to the hackers without being hacked before that. But in this case, I'm not too worried. I mean, we have like level 2 sledges, and these guys have the damage output of a level 4 sledge because of the card. So these are amazing damage. Finally started adding Mustangs to answer the wasp problem. My opponent took the tempo move of the ability card, kind of getting rid of both of my phoenixes. I think that was the plan. Okay. I'm going to take a loan because we need the range. Otherwise, the Mustangs just die too quickly. And I also really wanted to level up my sledges. Just don't have the money. Like, once you get to level 3, they're dealing the damage of level 6. I mean, the math here is insane. Alright, 2 more hackers for my opponent. Now, these hackers are not ranged, which means they shoot at 125, which means they do have to walk a little bit to get to my sledgehammers. But I think this storm is going to do quite well for my opponent. I added a single shield here. The shield here is not necessarily for the storm. The shield is for the hacker. So this hacker is going to have a heck of a tough time getting into these sledges within the shield. But it looks like the stormies will just get the job done. Ooh, the sledges popping the hacker so quickly. So even though it seemed pretty strong for my opponent, he had the ability to call down, but he was not able to seal the deal because the hacker was simply two-shot. We're two-shotted by the sledges. And once the sledges are gone, the level 2 marksman will take care of these raids. Okay, small damage, but damage regardless. Another mobilized battleship. I think that's going to be the play here. I already have my original mobilized battleship off cooldown, so having 2 additional boats into a sledgehammer line is no joke. Finally got the opportunity to level up these sledges. So now they're doing almost 4k a shot every 3 seconds per unit. So that's what? Close to 20k damage every 3 seconds from the squad. That's insane. And this round, I am being very generous with the shields. I know my opponent has no damage, with the exception of these 2 Stormcallers. The raids themselves, yes, technically they're improved and technically they got what 30% increased damage, but it's still a chaff clear unit. I've added the AM devices just to deal with the damage coming from the storms. I put 2 boats on the back line, preventing any sort of boat play from my opponent because his call down is also ready to go. Took the loan, took the extra range, and we are all set for this final clash. I'm quite surprised that my opponent still hasn't taken the fan shield, but even if it does at this turn, it doesn't matter. Next turn, I just put more Mustangs. 8 gun on the Wraith, doing a lot of damage. But there's only, what, 4 of them? 2 of them are level 1. So not too concerned about that at all. Oil being added in. My sledgehammer now shoots at 160 meters. Hackers finally got range 165, so just a little bit more than my sledges. Okay, shield went down on one side. Hackers coming in. Can he get a lock on to one of these level 3? Nope. Nope, gets instantly sniped. In fact, all of the hackers except one got instantly sniped. The boat's coming in and do both things, and that is going to be GG. Alright, so what I love about improved sledges is that it completely changes the equation on some of the reliable counters. With the scorpions, usually a level 2 scorpion is very difficult to deal with, especially if you don't have a level 3 sledgehammers, just because the scorpion can tank so many shots. But with improved, it can tank half as many shots, which is really good. Hackers, same idea. A level 2 hacker shield used to be very problematic, but with the improved, not only I can kill the hacker, pop the shield, and also get experience to make them even bigger. Whenever you're facing improved sledgehammers, I think you can either maybe punch would be a good option because it doesn't really increase the HP, it's just damage. So punch might be good. You can always run carry Vulcan. Vulcans are historically pretty decent, especially for tanks on the line. So you can always run Vulcan. You just need to win the chap war, which shouldn't be a problem if you're running carry Vulcan. But yeah, it's a great unit. So for my opponent here, selling out the Scorpion was questionable. I felt like he had a reasonable chance with the Scorpions on the board. But the hackers, I mean, certainly I've seen the hackers beat sledgehammers before, but against improve, as you can see, we just don't give the hacker that much time to lock on and do the work. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you want to see another one, here's one for you. And I'll see you on the next one.
Prepare your tactics. Mechabellum's calling. Deploy your fortress. The battlefield's alive with swarms.